This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brookes Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brookes Blooms' three-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.
G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Ads and Dunks podcast, as always brought to you by the Oz American Aces, and thanks to our beautiful sponsor Brookes Blooms for always supporting us too. It's Dunks here, one of your hosts, and joining me on the line as always, a very up and about Adam Treloar. How you going, mate? How's your week been?
Was that a sarcastic up and about, or is that a legit up and about?
Just trying to sow the seed so that we get this going a bit, because we've both had average weeks, a bit of a downer and losing and trying to bring positive energy to this potty this week, mate.
Yeah, well, we always do bring positive energy. We get the best out of each other, I believe, which is the most exciting thing about the potty. But obviously it was a shit weekend. You mentioned just then you guys didn't obviously win, and we played horrendous, which is frustrating. But other than that, life's good, mate. As you can probably hear, Georgie in the background probably screaming, wrestling with Charlie Clark. I don't know who's a bigger kid out of those two, but my week was all right, mate, other than the footy side. What about yours?
Yeah, pretty good. Sounds like Georgie's crying behind you, mate. But it was a good week other than the footy side of things. It was nice to just Tipper's family staying with us at the moment, so been hanging out with them. Mackie, her younger brother, actually plays the Switch, Nintendo Switch. So I've been playing like nightly Nintendo Switch, like the old Wii games. You know the Wii games? Like the 10-pin bowling, volleyball, tennis, basketball. Yeah. And I'm loving it, mate. I'm back on the gaming side of things.
Well, mate, I've never lost the gaming side of things, so that's right up my alley. As we speak, my PlayStation is right here, and I often play the PlayStation whilst we're in intermission breaks when the internet's not working or whatever's not working when we're doing our potty. But I'll tell you what game you should play, Pokemon.
Is Georgie okay, mate? She sounds like she's having an absolute cry in the background.
I think I don't know, mate. On a 4.5-year-old, you got no idea. She might have freaking run out of toys to play with or whatever it may be. But she's all right, mate. She's good. She's good. But play that Pokemon game. I know Brado's a big Pokemon fan, and I'm a big Pokemon fan.
Is that on the Switch or is that
absolutely,
on
mate.
PlayStation?
Actually, Taylor DeRay,
I'll ask you about it.
He's been bringing his Switch along to on our away trip, actually. So we obviously travelled on the weekend, and he was playing his Switch on the way there and on the way back. But Doc being Doc and all the boys at the footy club, they love their golf, so they play the golf games on the Switch. Yeah, not for me, mate. I don't play the golf games. I don't play golf in general, to be honest. Oh, sorry, I was meant to give you this. Still the ads and dunks. The girl actually gave me the other one for you, so it's here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'll have to get it on the weekend then.
Yes, that's right. Yes, when you're down on the Friday, aren't you?
Down on the Friday, mate. Yep.
That has really got me up and about in the last 5 minutes of actually realising that's the case. That's really exciting, mate. What do you reckon? Go get some brekkie somewhere. Definitely won't be getting frozen yogurt the night before.
Nah, well, we can get frozen yogurt my night before if you want.
Yeah, can do
because you're Sunday, I'm Saturday.
Yeah, then I'll watch you on the Saturday, and you can come over to mine, and we'll have my peanut butter baguette then. What do you reckon?
Yeah, hard pass on the peanut butter baguette. I tell you right now.
Yeah, because I will not be having a frozen yogurt going forward for the rest of my career because I played an absolute stinker and we lost. But anyway, mate, let's just get into the weekend's results. We may as well just get it out of the way so we can move on.
We'll
start with your game because you guys played on the Saturday first. Hit us, mate. What was the fallout from the game?
It was an interesting one because I felt like we started really well. They were obviously on the back foot early, and our momentum went a long way into helping us put the score on the scoreboard, but we weren't efficient enough, I felt. And on review, we looked at it like we probably should have kicked more goals in that first quarter. I missed an easy snap that I'd kick a lot more, 9 times out of 10. So little things like that were costing us. And then early on in the second, we allowed them back in the game just by giving up 3 centre-bounce goals pretty much straight away. So disappointing in that regard. But then I thought the rest of the game was a real arm wrestle. So the way you look at it is, we had plenty of opportunities. We still played a really, really good team in the Giants, who are up there on the ladder for an absolute reason, because they're a good side. Definitely don't underestimate them in a couple of weeks' time when you come up against them. But overall, I just feel like it was a disappointing result. But I reckon we lost the game, off our own boots, and everyone puts their hand up and says that there was goals that should have been kicked when they weren't. So little things like that cost us, I feel, and not making the most of those opportunities that we did create. Because for example, we kicked 3 goals 11 from stoppage, and they kicked 9 goals 1. So that's 10 scoring shots to 14 or whatever it is, but they win it by 30 points. So it was disappointing in that regard.
Yeah, I think most people were saying it was kind of the loss that you boys needed in a way, which I don't always agree with, because being a player, you never want to lose.
No, that's right.
But when you do look at it from, I guess, the perspective that they're saying that, yeah, sometimes it can be good for you boys because it can narrow in your focus again and bring you back to reality a little bit more and really focus in on these last 2 games and taking it clearly a week at a time. Firstly, do you feel like the Giants are where they at this time last year, where they really started to peak and then really hit the finals as probably the informed team in the comp, and then pushed obviously Collingwood to a prelim? Do you feel like that trajectory is right there, they're as good as where they were last year, or do you feel like they still have another level to go?
Yeah, I do. I think they are one of the teams to beat, to be honest with you. Like the way that they can move the ball, and when the game is on their terms, they can score very quickly. And so being able to arrest that momentum is tough against the Giants, because they like to play that, handball chain, similar to you guys actually in a way. Like they like to handball territory, get territory, then lock it in and bring the pressure if you get the footy back. So I do rate them. I think they're going to be up there come the end of September. Who knows where they finish, but I do reckon they'll be a very hard team to beat moving forward.
Yeah, well, I agree. And you did throw in, don't underestimate the Giants, mate. We don't have the right to underestimate anyone at the moment with the way that we obviously played on the weekend. But, yeah, watching that game, they're clearly, in my mind, one of the best teams to beat as well. One of the best teams in the competition and one of the hardest teams to beat as well. And I feel like they play away from their home as well as anybody. They always seem to travel well and play well and really, gel together and play really well. So, were there any other learnings from the game that you guys could probably take in going into this week's game against, which will be a very hostile game for you in Collingwood, and fully expecting them to be really up and about against you boys, because they're technically still in the hunt and they can mathematically still make the finals. Is there anything out of the game you can take into that one?
Probably the momentum side of things. We, as mids, we let our team down by allowing it out of the centre bounce too easily. So definitely a few things that we learnt from that experience on the weekend, and little decisions, whether you cough it up and things like that, really affected the way that we gave up those goals, I feel. So they're little things that I reckon we'll look at this week, and we've already been to work on it today. Tuesday was one of our main sessions. So, look forward to hopefully changing the script this week against the Pies and being on the right side of a good win.
Yes, no, I agree. It's a good assessment, and I will be looking forward to this game on Saturday. But I feel like it is the loss you guys kind of needed in a way to hopefully, as you said, now put you back in a good space to win this week, and then obviously finish off against the Bombers, I believe you got in the last game. So it'll be a good game this week. Keen to see.
Thank you, mate. Let's move on to yours. I watched it on Sunday. Talk us through it. What do you think?
Obviously it was shocking. my brutal assessment. Just disappointing. Very disappointing. We, full credit to Adelaide. Obviously, I rate them really highly. I feel like they're, when they're playing their kind of footy, they're as good as anybody. And it's obviously a shame for them that they're not going to be in the finals. But I guess it's just disappointing that, we lost in the manner that we lost. You talk about dominance around the ground. I felt like we got smacked around the ball. I don't know what their goals were from stoppage or centre bounce, but it would have been high. I felt like they we really let our backs down inside and let the guys like Rankin and Matt Crouch, Jordan Dawson, Berry, these guys just get on top of us and have free ball use out of stoppage, which just isn't us. That's not what you come to expect, especially in the last month of footy and how we've been playing. You just don't come to expect that from us. So that's probably the most disappointing thing. And, me being one of the senior players in there, and I know the other boys in there would be wearing that and knowing that we need to be better in that regard because, we're so vital as a group for the whole team. So, that was probably the main assessment out of the game, just how frustrated and disappointed we were in the way that we lost and the way we let them essentially control the game from the start to the finish.
Yeah, they play, for those footy heads or not so footy heads out there, they play a very different brand, the Crows. We played them twice this year, and both times it's hard to not stop, but it's just hard to manage, I feel, like the way that they get all their numbers back, and then it's just like slingshot straight out the back, and they try and get out in space, and they run quickly forward. And if you're a split second off, you get caught off guard. Do you feel like that? You talked about the contest, but did you feel like that slingshot type of play was hard to stop on the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, you got to give a lot of credit to their high forwards. I think in particular Ben Keys, he works his ass off. He'd be right up there in the top percentile of working their absolute ass off. Like he runs as hard as anybody. And, their half forwards did exactly what you said. They will get up the ground and they'll compress the ground and make it look small for us. And then as soon as they win the ball back or get an intercept marked and, get speed of ball off a long down the line play, whatever they may do, they're a very hard team to stop because of how hard they're working. And definitely felt like that's what gave us a lot of trouble. I also felt, we let their, I think Darcy Fogarty had a ripping game. Riley Thilthorpe had an awesome game. These guys, but the fact that we allowed them, easy access to the ball. We didn't defend well enough. We let them, essentially win one-on-one contests because we just didn't give our defenders or anyone enough time to get back to help out. And we're not, again, you look at our past month of footy, we haven't allowed that. We've been in sync and we've really helped each other, and that's across the whole field. And I just felt like we just let ourselves down a lot. And I think also we clearly need to keep working on finishing around goal and maximising our opportunities. So I definitely feel like we always leave a bit out there, but we definitely left a bit out there this week with opportunity when we did have opportunity and we didn't actually kick goals. I know I had a couple long shots where usually I'd kick those, my younger legs, but I couldn't. I probably should have passed it off or whatever it may be. So just those little opportunities that hurt us as well. So yeah, all in all, it was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, we're both in the same boat on the weekend. Kicked inaccurately. You kicked one. I missed two. Probably dropped the mark in the 450. Could have had 3 shots on goal as well. So those little things we'll get to work at. And I'm sure, you'll be down at Whitnova. I'll be out at Springfield having set shots this week. That's for sure.
No, that I will, mate. I don't have too many set shots, to be honest, actually, because I don't get many set shots. And I can't kick a set shot this year to save myself. I've freaking missed all the ones I've had. So I could be wrong when I say this, but I reckon out of all the goals I've kicked this year, all of them, maybe bar one, is a snap. Literally it's either a quick snap or a set shot snap that I've had. I reckon if Brado can do his search, that's hard to search that. But I reckon all my goals this year are snaps. Maybe one might not be, but anyway. Yeah, I genuinely reckon they are. So maybe I should just start snapping the ball. But no, we're no more questions about our games because we're both clearly disappointed. We can move on from that.
I think it's one of those weeks. I did text you after your game, and we were chatting. I was like, "Don't worry about it, mate. We'll be right. Just get positive vibes in the room. We'll bounce back next week." So I think that's the mentality at both clubs at the moment. Is sometimes you have games where you're just unlucky, don't kick straight. Little things happen throughout and it doesn't go your way. So hopefully we can both bounce back this week and get on a winning roll again.
I hope so too, and I firmly believe we will. So hopefully. But it was a good round of footy. Like the Friday game, Sydney versus Collingwood, that was an unbelievable game. I mean, I think 14 minutes into the last quarter, Collingwood are up by 25 or something. and you could just sense the momentum changing. And I think for what it's worth, Isaac Heaney probably played one of the best last quarters that I've seen in general. Just the Chad Warner as well was incredible in the last quarter, but Isaac Heaney's last quarter was just a quick reminder of how good of a year he's had and a quick reminder of how that can turn your season back around, because obviously there was a lot of pressure on Sydney and, their month prior obviously hadn't been where it had been prior to that. So, yeah, that game was incredible. Did you watch that one? You would have.
Yeah, I did. I was at the point where in the last quarter I was like, righto, if Collingwood kick the next score, I'm going to bed. And then all of a sudden Sydney kicked a goal. And I was like, I might just stay up and watch this. And then they kicked another one and I'm like, surely not. And yeah, like you said, Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner. I reckon Heaney's last quarter, it wasn't even the last quarter, mate. It was like the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. It was like he was just like, come on, boys, I've got ya. It was unbelievable.
He was. And as I said, it was a reminder of how good he's been all year. And I think he's now leading the coaches award, and we don't see the last two rounds. So it's going to be until like the award's announced. So it's going to be interesting last couple of rounds because there's some players that are vying for that. But yeah, he was incredible. Even you wouldn't have seen these games because obviously you were playing, but the West Coast North game, if you're a West Coast fan, you'd be excited about that because they've played some really good footy and they were in the same boat pretty much. They were down pretty much all. They were down by, I think, 35 or something at one stage, and they just kept coming and oh my gosh, you thought it was going to, you just didn't think it was going to happen, and it happened. And then the Gold Coast Essendon game, did you watch that game?
I did watch that one, yep.
Mate. So I'll rephrase that question. How do you reckon you would have been if you were Mac Andrew?
Oh, shitting myself for sure.
You reckon you would have missed your boot?
Yeah, probably. It would have come off my shin.
That was incredible. Far out. I mean, it's such a emotional sport, mate. The Bombers fans, I know they'd be hurting and they're obviously flat. But for the game of footy, that was an incredible finish. And you could kind of sense something was going to happen in that last 5 minutes because they were just dominating the play at Gold Coast. And, mate, Mac Andrew is a very good player. I rate him very, very highly. I feel like he's going to be a star for Gold Coast for a long time.
Yeah, I do too. He's one of the ones that you actually have to plan for now because down back he's been so good for him. But now, obviously, on the weekend he got swung forward and kicked 4. I think he kicked 4 or 5.
He did.
And the match winner. So yeah, the clunk too was. Don't underestimate that. That was a pretty good mark.
I think his ability on ground too, the ground level play, like he's as good as most. Like he's tall, but he's real nifty and shifty, and he doesn't get tackled. Yeah, he's a talent, mate. And for Gold Coast to break the away hoodoo as well, which is good for them. I seen this thing today where all game winners that the Gold Coast, have you seen it? So all game winners that Gold Coast have had goals after the siren, 2 players have been a part of, or 2 people, sorry. David Swallow's one of them, and the other one is Damien Hardwick.
Really?
Yeah, so obviously when Noah Anderson kicked that winner, he's done it against Richmond, and then when Carmichael Hunt kicked the winner, I think it was 2012 or something, Damien Hardwick was the coach as well. So Damien Hardwick's been a part of all the game winners, which is pretty crazy. Cool. But yeah, that was an unbelievable game. And then obviously the Sunday, mate, how's the Carlton boys? Did you see, from what I heard, we were obviously warming up for our game and whatnot, and someone come in and said that they had no one on the bench.
Yeah, I think they were down to 1 or none on the bench. I was watching that game before yours, and I was just sitting there.
Quarter?
They lost 2 early. I know that. And then I'm fairly sure they lost Kerno and someone else late.
Jeez.
Someone else late. Boyd or someone, maybe? I can't remember.
Have you played a game? Have you played a game where AFL level where that's happened and you've had no rotations?
Yeah, so the Gold Coast game earlier this year, we had when Logan Morris got his debut.
Yes.
So Darcy Gardner and Link McCarthy both did their knees on that night. And then Noah Ainsworth went down with concussion. So we had one. I think we were down to one on the bench, and we had Brucey Revel, who was fully body cramping, so he couldn't come on the ground. Like he was physically. No. So we all played like the whole second half, bro. It was crazy. Never been more cooked after a game.
Were you rotating forward, or were you just staying in the guts, just chugging them out?
Yeah. No. I was rotating forward. I was like, I need someone to go for me. Just get going. Get going.
Oh, I joked about that with Buku Karmas before the game. Freaking imagine if that happened to us. Like, would you go in? Would you play on ball for me? He's like, no freaking way. Yeah, I remember it happened once for when I was obviously at the Pies, my first year. I don't know if you remember this, but we played you boys. So your first year in the AFL, we played you boys at the MCG.
Oh yeah,
and
a couple of goals that day, I reckon.
You did. You kicked the goal, and then I kicked one straight after you in the last quarter. But anyway, I think we in that last quarter, with about 25 minutes ago, we had no one on the bench. So we played the whole quarter. You guys ended up beating us. Not that that's an excuse, but that's my one and only game where I've been a part of that, where we literally had no one on the bench. But when you're younger, like now it's different. But when I was that age, it was like, oh yeah, at least I get to stay out of here. Like I used to hate coming off, and one of those blokes that never wanted to come off. But now, like I'm desperate for a rotation all the time. But it would have been a challenge for them, and it's a challenge for Carlton now. Obviously, they've got to win their next two games. But mate, I can't wait to see how they come out this week with their backs against the wall, adversity. Clear adversity. They're playing West Coast, who've won 2 in a row, who are playing at home. Everyone's going to be writing Carlton off. I'm really, really keen to see how they come out and play.
Yeah, me too. It's a massive game for them, and I think they're outside the 8 at the moment. So if they don't win, potentially they miss finals based off this game. So, like you said, West Coast at home, a very hard team to beat. We both. Did you go over there this year and play West Coast? You did, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you haven't. Well, we went over there and they were extremely good. So, that's going to be an exciting one to watch.
That is. Anything catch your eye before we move on from the round? Yes, something did. You wouldn't be saying that.
The Hawks caught my eye. The way that some of the transition ball that they got, you wouldn't have seen it. But there was one passage of play. I remember Jarman Impey got it. So the Blues kicked an inside 50. Impey gets the ball and he just rockets his handball 20 metres forward into the corridor, and they just make it up, and then they end up getting 2 blokes out the back. It's like how are they getting these numbers to all these contests and just looking so good? It's impressive. I was watching them, kicking back, watching them, and I just couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. So they're going to be a tough team to beat over the next couple of weeks, and I know there's a few big games that they've got too. Yeah,
well, I feel like they coming, because I now firm believer they'll make finals. I think they're 100% locked now. I know that mathematically they're still got to win, but they'll make it, and they'll be the informed team in the comp going into the finals with obviously Giants, and depending on how the next 2 weeks go. But mate, I watched some highlights as well, and I think what impresses me the most with Hawthorn is they don't have a player that just dominates. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't have the same player that just dominates every week. Like, they have players that play just good every single week. And you mentioned Jarman Impey, he's one. They've got a good spread of midfielders in Warple and Jai Newcomb, Nash, Will Day, Dan Brozio on the wing, who's been people talking about him being the wingman All-Australian, which I think's a fair argument. He's been a revelation for them. I think the lock for All-Australian for the Hawthorn perspective is Dylan Moore. I think that guy is having an incredible season, and his work rate, you talk about work rate and running ability, has to be top 2 to 3 in the competition. His work rate, he's an absolute workhorse, and even when we came up against Hawthorn, we had to put some time into him, and the respect that he gets from opposition teams, I think, is just gone through the roof, and he's had an incredible season. But yeah, mate, I couldn't agree more with you about Hawthorn. And I remember early on in the year when we played Hawthorn, we played them when I think they'd only just won one game. They won the week before, and we played them, and they beat us, so they'd won their second game. And I remember talking to Frosty before the game because Frosty and I were Giants teammates. And he brought up, I'll ask him, how's it going? Obviously, they'd started 0-5 and whatnot. He goes, nah, your boys are confident. Like, we just know once we get it going, it'll click for us and it'll turn and, we'll win some games and we'll play a great brand of footy. And he said that to me prior to the game. And, I obviously now seeing their body of work, he was right, mate. Freaking took them a while to get going, but once they got going, far out. And mate, they could have won 2 more games in the last 2 months from the games they lost. They clearly lost to Port Adelaide with that goal after the siren, essentially. And I think there was a game a couple of weeks ago, maybe, where they lost off. Yes, there you go, mate. They legit could have won an extra 2 games, which would have put them top 4. So, yeah, mate, they're a scary good team and they're a great team to watch. Not a great team to play against, but a great team to watch. But, yeah, I agree with you, mate. They were unbelievable on the weekend. But we'll move on to our tips, mate, for the next week's game. Preview this week's game, sorry. Friday, we've got a ripping game. This is a beauty because Essendon, again, can mathematically still make the finals. Essendon are playing Sydney at Marvel Stadium. Who you got?
I think Sydney will win that. I just reckon that the Swans will similar thing. They found a bit of their mojo in that last quarter and they're going to come out against the Bombers and, put on a show. They actually like playing at Marvel, I reckon, the Swans, because it's nice and clean, quick ball movement.
I'll go Sydney as well, but I think it's going to be a great game. And again, I do want to mention Dyson Heppel retired today, Essendon champion.
Yep.
And he's a Gippy boy, so you obviously would know Dice, but I got to play with him at Vic Country. He's a year older than me, the big fella, and he was someone I looked up to coming through those junior ranks and was a superstar from the minute I met him. And he's had a wonderful career, over 250 games, All-Australian, captain, best and fairest for the Bombers, and been a great servant for the footy club. And you can see by his retirement video today the passion that he has for the footy club and how much he loves the Essendon fans. So it was, it was a sad day, as we always say, when players that we know retire, but good on him. I reckon he's had an unbelievable career and wish him all the best going into whatever happens next.
Another Gippy boy who's done really well, so congrats to Dice. What's the next game? Suns and the D's. Ooh. Another good one. I think Suns at home.
Oh, this is a good one. And they're both – I'm looking at the ladder as I'm doing this. So, again, they technically can both still make it. Like, they need a lot to go their way. But, I'll say Gold Coast. I'll say Gold Coast at home. They were impressive on the weekend, so I'm going to go the Gold Coast.
Giants, Freo. This is interesting, right? I've got a bit of a feeling that Freo are going to come out and win against the Giants at home.
Well, I'm going to go the Giants, but I feel like this year, whenever Freo has been challenged, they've always come out and bounced back.
Yep.
So will not surprise me, but it's very hard to win at NG Stadium, and the Giants are, extremely in form at the moment, to the point where they're 1 win off top spot. I mean, their percentage is nowhere near Sydney's, but I'm going to go the Giants.
Next game's ours. One after that is Port v Adelaide. Showdown.
I think this is going to be a ripper. No matter where these teams are on the ladder, it's a bit like the West Coast and Freo derby as well, that you just expect them to bring their best. I'm actually going to go and upset, and I'm going to say Adelaide.
I'm with you. And
for 10 extra tipping points, you heard it, Brado, the best player on the ground for the showdown medal, because there's a showdown medal. Give us your showdown medal. Go.
All right. I'm going to go Mitch Hinge.
I'm going to go Isaac Rankin.
All right.
I need this. I really need this, Isaac. Hopefully he's listening, because I really, really need this for my tipping.
All right. Next one, Saints v Geelong, Saturday night.
Yeah. So this is at Marvel. Geelong, obviously, again, been challenged in the last couple of weeks, and they've come out and they're 1 win off top spot as well. The Saints play Marvel well. Obviously, they didn't play against you boys well, but I think Geelong are just finding their form, and I think they'll be too strong.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than what everyone thinks. I'll tip the Saints for an upset.
That is a big upset if that does happen, because that brings Geelong back if the other teams win. So that'll be a big game.
Doggies North is next, and then Hawks v Richmond. I'm going to tip Hawthorn. You going to tip Hawthorn?
Oh, mate, they're just going too well for me not to tip against them. So I'm going to go Hawks.
Eagles v Blues. Here we go. This is a big one. This is what I want to know.
I'm going to say Carlton. And the reason why I'm going to say Carlton is because I just feel like I mentioned adversity before. They've got 6 injuries from the previous game where they're not going to play. They've already confirmed they're going to have 6 changes. Their backs are well and truly against the wall. Their season is essentially on the line, and they have to win. Yeah, I'm going to say Carlton. I reckon they're going to band together and they're going to put in an epic performance and they'll get the job done.
I'll go against you and say West Coast then.
They're equal on 48 with us and Hawthorn, and then there's Freo on 50, Essendon on 46. It is just insanely close. It's going to be an unbelievable game. Keen to see that one. I actually won't be able to see it. I'll be playing. Well, I'll be able to see it afterwards. But anyway, we'll go to your game, mate. Collingwood, Brisbane, Saturday afternoon. This is a beauty because, as I said, Collingwood can still make the finals. And you guys obviously, yeah. What are you thinking, mate? You played them earlier this year, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, and they beat us up here. So that was disappointing. But I feel like we've changed it up a little bit. Like we're playing a bit of a different way compared to what we were early in the year. And they've obviously got all the talent they've got across the field. They've still got a lot of premiership players in their side that know how to play these big games really well. So it's going to be a huge test for us. We've travelled quite well this year, I feel, as a group. So look forward to travelling again with the boys and getting down there and, giving it a red hot crack.
Without giving too much away, what do you think the difference will be from last time you played them to obviously this time? Because as you said, they got his last time and that was up at the Gabba as well. So now they're playing obviously in front of their home crowd. You know what it's going to be. It's going to be very hostile for you boys and, grand final rematch on the MCG, essentially. It's going to be obviously a challenge.
Yeah, it is. I mean, ultimately, either team or both teams will want to get the game on their terms as quick as possible and then prolong that for as long as possible. So last time I felt up here that they dictated to us what was going on. So we're going to be trying to do that in the opposite to them. Their play, like I said, they've got a few injuries, but that's no discount as to what they're going to produce because I feel like their whole list, and we've seen it in the past, have always, it's been that man that one goes down, the next one steps up, and it's all about the game plan. So it's going to be a tough one for us, but I reckon the boys are ready for it and ready for a big challenge and hopefully a good win.
I hope so for your sake, mate, because at the same time, it is a big game for you boys because obviously if you were to drop this, then, there's teams ahead of you that are clearly vying for that top 4. So it is a big game, one that I cannot wait to watch, mate. So I'll be sitting back on the couch supporting you, mate.
I appreciate that, mate. Your game on Sunday, I'll be keeping a close eye on too. 1:10 at Marvel Stadium against the Kangas, who disappointing loss obviously last week for them. So they'll be coming out red hot as well.
Well, yeah. You talk about not underestimating a team before. I mean, we can't underestimate anybody, and North's one of those sides where we've played them. They really took it up to us last time, and we didn't finish that game really well, and they got within, I think, 3 or 4 goals, which was disappointing from that game coming out into obviously the following game. So that's something we'll look at. They've built from their second half of the season has gone obviously exceptionally better than their first half. They've pretty much been in every game. They've won obviously 4 games, sorry. Is it 4? No, they've won 3. Since then, they've been in pretty much every game and winning positions as well. And I feel like they've really showcased their brand and now teams know how they want to play. So, yeah, we really got to be on, and we're going to be. We've got there's no fallback, mate. We have to win if we want to ultimately play finals and qualify and go as far as we can. We've got to win these games of footy, and this is another one for us. So it's going to be a big challenge for us.
Yeah, I think they're saying that Sheasel might be out or he's in doubt this week, which would be massive because he's been dominating every game that he's played over the last few weeks. Is he someone that you may put some work into if he does play?
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really delved into the matchup sides and whatnot or who we're focusing on, but I feel like what we've done well prior to the game on the weekend in the previous 4 games, we've come up against, Sydney and Geelong and Carlton, these teams that showcase star players of the comp, and we've gone in with a really collective mindset to obviously challenge them and take care of their dangerous players. So I got no doubt he would have been one of them. I think their midfield group is one of their strengths. I mean, they're probably led by arguably the All-Australian ruckman in Tristan Cherry, who's having an incredible season. I mean, for his own individual output, he's been remarkable, mate. I think it'll come down to him and Maxi Gawn come the end of the season for that All-Australian spot, and rightfully so. They've both been dominant. So he's obviously going to be a big challenge for us, and he gives his midfielders in obviously you mentioned Sheasel and Simpkin and LDU. Obviously Phillips goes through there. If Wardlaw plays, like they've got some class through there. So yeah, off the back of how us midfielders played last week, it's going to be a big challenge for us and something that we need to relish and really hit head on. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats and they match up pretty well against you guys in really all departments. So it's going to be a good game.
It will be, mate. We'll be hopefully we can come away with the 4 points because, as I said, these wins, we need to win these games, and as you do too. So yeah, mate, hopefully it's a winning weekend for us and we can be bouncing off the walls come next week's podcast.
How good would that be? Getting
that
around
would be
it.
Good.
We wouldn't have to fake the intro like we did tonight, being all up and about.
Yeah, maybe that's why Georgie was freaking yelling in the background. She could sense the sadness. Nah, we're good. We're always good. All right, we'll give some love. I want to give some love to a Giants player, which is obviously in your game. Yes, and I only seen the last quarter and a bit, but I went back and watched a bit of the game, and this young fella, Darcy Jones, I feel like he's a real find for them. I really do. And he came onto the scene earlier this season, I believe, one of his debut. I think he debuted against you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. He did. And, he's got some real speed, some real class about him and really clean. And, he was a massive reason why, they got some momentum and eventually ran over the top of you. But, yeah, I'm extremely impressed by their youngsters, and he's one of those guys that I want to give some love to because I feel like he's really building into his season, and he's going to have a great career in the Orange. So he's my guy.
Love it. He's a very, very good player. Hard to match up on actually in their forward line because he's so nimble and agile at ground level. Mine's from our game too. It's actually a teammate of mine. I want to pump him up because no one ever talks about him. Some did this week because of the job that he did, but Brandon Starcevich on Toby Green kept him to 4 touches and a goal, which the goal came from a free kick that arguably wasn't a free kick. Bez got it holding the ball call when he handballed it, so I don't know about that. You can be the judge of that, Ads. But, so realistically could have held him to 3 touches for the game, which is insane. And Starce does this week in, week out on whoever he plays on. He's just so ruthless with his approaches, and he's a gentle giant. Like he's around the club, he's the nicest bloke. You never think that he'd do anything like that, and then he goes out there on the weekend and just becomes a different man. I love it. He's such a great teammate, one that I've always admired from afar and now love playing with. So to Starce, I wanted to give him some love too. Hey, actually, I saw Toby Green got a coach's vote, so I'm wondering whether that is a bit of a
Oh, really?
piss take. Yep. From
No way.
GWS. Yep.
No way. Really? That's crazy. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. Yeah, well, maybe it's meant to say Tom Green. Did Tom Green get votes?
I don't know.
They might have got a mix up with the Tom and the Toby. But no, I agree with you because I have sometimes when I've never played forward and Starce has played on me, but I've had times where I've started as a forward and, he's been my matchup and he genuinely wears you like a glove. It's just like, he could essentially do a tagging role. You may as well send him in the midfield to get him to tag someone. I mean, I don't know if he has the engine to do that, but I mean, He is, yeah. He's one of those guys that would be the first pick week in, week out, and you know what you're going to get from him. So I feel like that's a good one to get some love to, mate. We've only got 2 more rounds of the regular season to give some love to some players, and then we've got some finals footy. Can't believe it's round 23 coming up. But mate, we'll go to the Brookes Bloom of the week. You got one for me?
Do you want to go first or you want mine?
Oh, well, from the sounds of it, you want me to go first, so I'll go first because yours is probably better. I'm going Nikola Jokic celebration. So I'm not sure if you've seen the video of him, the cult videos, but I'm just going to say his week of celebrating. There's that video of him on the bus with all the Serbian team celebrating, and I've never seen so much passion from this guy before, and he was never seen that before in my life, and he was celebrating as hard as he's ever, and it was for a bronze. I mean, he's won a MVP, an NBA championship, and he just, that's it. That's just my job. Where he was genuinely celebrating. And then obviously there was a clip of him at the horses. He's, it sounds like someone that you and I'd get along with because he loves his horses. And there was a video of him at one of the horse races must be in Serbia somewhere. And everyone's filming him and he's got a beer in his hand and celebrating. So my bloom of the week is Nikola Jokic.
I like it, mate. Mine's a bit of a left field one. So this person has copped a bit of flack, and I just want to get around them because of all the noise that's happened from it. But Raygun the break dancer.
Oh, there you go.
It's my bloom of the week.
All right, tell me why.
What do you reckon?
No, I'm in the same corner as you, mate. I feel like she clearly qualified, and the amount of hate that she's copped is ridiculous. I mean, she's on the world stage. I know you're not there, so like, who are you to bring her down? I mean, good on her. Like, she's doing what she's doing. She's very unique in the way she did her routine. I mean, I'm no expert. I got no idea, but from what I believe is she was a realist. She knew she wasn't going to beat any of them, is what she said from her own mouth, and she wanted to come out and express her own way of dancing through Australian culture. And good on her, mate. Like, far out. Like, it's just the world we're in, though, man. Like, people love to bring people down. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing that. But good on her. Good on her for trying her best and qualifying.
That's exactly why I thought I'd have her as a bloom of the week because, yeah, like you said, everyone just wants to bring someone down these days. And, she's got there. She's represented Australia. She's put breakdancing on the map, I feel, like through all this controversy. Like, she's gone out there and expressed herself and done the dance and the routine and all the hard work that goes into it too. So hats off. I rate it. I think it's good. She's done a fantastic job in representing the country. So let her be. Bloom of the week.
Me too. I agree. I love that. What was the best thing from the Olympic Games? What did you enjoy the most? Lyle's coming third.
I hated the time difference. That's what I did hate. I hated that, having to get up early and watch the main events. But Team USA was cool. That was pretty cool. Steph Curry putting the night symbol up was sick. But favorite moments. I don't know. I love the swimming. I've always loved the swimming. The athletics was really good. Everything was good. I think it was probably one of our better medal outings too, wasn't it?
Well, it was the most golds we've won. I think 18 was the most that we'd 17, was the most that we'd won. So we had 18 with like 4 days to go. I don't think we won a gold in the last 4 days, which obviously isn't an easy feat. But yeah, there was a lot of great memories. I think my favourite moment would have been our BMX girl that won. I forgot her name. I think it was Saya. I can't spell her last name. She got a long last name, but she won gold. And her story, I think her brother, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but her brother had an accident, I think, riding on the BMX, and I don't think he can ride anymore. Freestyle BMX is what it is. And she does a lot of her racing for her brother and her family. And, I think you could see all the emotion come out when she won the gold. And, yeah, mate, it was an incredible – I actually stayed up for that. That was late. Like, that would have been 3 or 4 in the morning. I think it was after actually one of the games. So I was already up anyway. But, yeah, I put that on and I watched her and, I thought that was my favourite moment of the Olympics, that she was able to do that. But did you see, speaking of the Olympics, I obviously love the American side of it when obviously they come out and they're all going against each other with Noah Lyles. Obviously, he's very, very confident, some would say, and he's probably put a lot of the basketballs and the NFL footballers off a bit by wordings that he said. But he obviously bronze, and then
blame COVID.
I just can't. Oh, I just can't deal with the look. If I know he had COVID, and obviously we've all had COVID, and it's not obviously fun, and no doubt it would have hindered him a bit. But mate, you won bronze. The other two were just better than you. You've got to give credit where credit's due. The other two were better. Tyreek Hill today come out. Did you see him come out today and say he reckons he'd beat him in a race?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I pay money to see that. Tyreek Hill versus Noah Lyles. But, yeah, now we've got to wait 4 years for the next Olympic Games, which NFL flag football will be in. So I might start rolling the arm over to get it ready because the Australian's going to need a quarterback.
There you go. You heard it here first. Adzi going to be the quarterback for Australia in 4 years' time.
Yeah, hopefully. But we're talking shit now, mate.
My question for you, I've got a random one. I couldn't think of anything, but tonight it just sprung to mind because Tipper and I were cooking dinner, right? And I want to know, when you make mashed potato, do you make mashed potato often?
Yeah.
So when you boil your potatoes, you drain the water out. Do you put your butter and your milk in before you mash it, or do you mash it first and then add the butter and milk?
Before. Everything's done before.
Before you mash it?
Yep.
That's what I thought. Tipper did it after. She started mashing it, and I'm looking over and I'm like, what are you doing?
You would have hated that too. You would have hated that.
I just want to know if there's anyone else out there that does it after, because I've never seen it before. So I just thought I'd ask you because it was one thing that happened literally an hour ago.
Speaking of mashed potato, do you peel the skin off or no? No. See, I don't either. So you just cut the potato up, boil it, drain it. Okay, yeah, good. Because I know some people that peel the skin off as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
Mum
that's a good
does
question.
that.
Have the whole potato. Isn't all the nutrients in the skin?
You know, mate, you've done your study.
Anyway, maybe we should get Brado in. Jump on, Brado.
Let's get him in. Let's ask him what he does.
I just chuck him in the deep fryer, mate. Have fatty chips. I'm not an athlete. I don't have to do all that shit. I don't have much for you this week. I only need to pop in to tell you that your tipping sucked. You both got threes.
Yeah.
So it was a bad week all around, and I couldn't find the stats around Adzi's set shot compared to snap goal kicks. So I think we just write this week off. We've all had a shocker. We need to reload, reset, go again this weekend. We'll be good. We'll come back next week and we'll be all sharp and crisp.
Yeah,
we will, Brado. Thank you, mate.
No worries.
That's it, mate.
I love that. That's it. What an episode. Another good one.
Great episode. Another good one.
Actually, we haven't done our winners. We haven't done any competition things over the last couple
we haven't,
of weeks.
have we?
People have no, so we've got to come up with something. So think of a question now, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. Do you put the butter in and the cream in before you mash it or after you mash it? That could be the question.
All right.
That shows.
All right.
Hang on. That shows that the true fans out there listen all the way through to the end of the episode, because you asked the question at the end of the episode. So I'll be keen to hear that. That can be the question. Send through exactly what you do, the rundown of what you do.
Yep. All right. Love it. Well, that's it, mate. Good luck this weekend. I'll see you down in Melbourne in a couple of days' time. I look forward to catching up. And you can give me that bracelet of yours.
Thanks, mate. Have a good week. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brookes Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brookes Blooms' 3-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.